All right. Shalom, shalom. All right. This is going to be a quick little exhortation on just open rebuke. Want to start off by first and foremost giving all praises, glory, and honor be to the Most High God, God of our fathers. We do so in the name of His Word. You know, this is Brother Yeshaya just coming at you, like I said, with just another quick exhortation. I'm not, like I said, it's not going to be a long video. Just want to just jump on this thing real quick. Haven't been on here personally in a long time, so just want to jump on this thing. Just kind of go into a little something real quick, real briefly. But I'm gonna give the audience time to get in here. You know what I'm saying? Take our time. Take our time getting in here. But like I said, we just definitely want to give our praises to the Most High first and foremost. Title of this lesson, open rebuke. I'm not going to wait too much longer. Just give some time. Not because, like I said, I need the views, but not necessarily because, you know, I want people to just be edified by what the Most High may say through me. So, fear none but one. Cam, salute to you, brother. Shalom. But yeah, definitely want to give all praises, glory. I'll be coming out of 1 Timothy 5:20. I'm going to start off with 1 Timothy 5. Then I'm going to go to Proverbs chapter 27. Yeah, so let me go ahead and grab them. Scriptures again. Then we're going to go into touching the Apocrypha a little bit, going to second Edge, so I could Wisdom of Solomon, Baruch. Let me see. 1 Timothy 5. Let me get that real quick. Right. Okay, so let me get that as I'm gathering these real quick, just to give myself a real quick. It's 27. So I can give me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. All right. So like I said, we coming out of 1 Timothy 5:20. I'm gonna just go ahead and get right into it. Video will be uploaded for those brothers and sisters who may want to come back and join in later, right? But so we coming out of 1 Timothy 5, like I said, open rebuke. So this is the book, 1 Timothy chapter 5, and we're gonna start at verse number 20, and it says, "Them that sin rebuke before all, that others may also fear." Right. So this is right here. This is what Paul is giving to Timothy, you know what I'm saying? Through the words of the Holy Spirit that is telling Timothy, hey, look, them that sin before the Most High, you know what I'm saying? Hey, rebuke them before all people, that others may fear the Lord Himself as well, right? So we know that there's a lot of scriptures that back what Paul is saying right here, because we've seen it of the prophets of old, right? We've seen it in through the Most High God Himself when it comes to rebuking people openly. A lot of people feeling differently about open rebuke, but let's go to the classic scripture, Proverbs chapter 27, verse number 5, and it reads, "Open rebuke is better than secret love," right? It says, "Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." So right there, it goes to show us that open rebuke, right? If we rebuke somebody openly, it's better than loving somebody in secret. Because if we're telling people what is good, what they're doing, what's right, what they're doing, what's wrong, and we're giving love to that person. That's a form of love. A form of love is showing people their transgressions, showing people where they're wrong, showing people how they're going off, because this is a perfect and a prime example how we can correct and call some of our brothers and sisters to kind of tighten up, to kind of get right in the spirit, right? So once again, that was Proverbs 27:5, where it says, "Open rebuke is better than secret love." And it says, verse number 6, it says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." So if a friend, you know what I'm saying, gives you kind of some wounds, that's better than an enemy showing you love, right? Because that just goes back to where it says, Ecclesiastes 7:7, "Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart." If we get kisses from our enemy, they're not kisses in genuine. There are kisses that are turning us away from the Most High, which is why the Most High always told us when it comes to the men, hey, don't marry a woman of another nation because her heart will turn your heart away from me, right? We seen it with Solomon, you know. Hey, did we not learn from him? Did we not learn from his mistakes? So staying on the topic, though, like it says in 1 Timothy 5:20, hey, look, them that sin before Salakia, them that sin rebuke before all, that others may also fear. So we have to rebuke everybody before all because we want other people to fear the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? And we've seen an example with the Most High doing that himself. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 15, you know. Salakia, let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 15. And let's start at, verse number 31, right? Let me start at verse number 30, all right? But the soul that doeth aught, this is Numbers 15 and 30. It says, but the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, and the same reproacheth the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of the Lord and hath broken his commandment, that the soul shall, that soul shall utterly be cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him. Verse number 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. So we all know, going back to the establishment in the Genesis chapter 2, Exodus chapter 20, Exodus chapter 31, the Lord is telling us over and over again, hey, remember the Sabbath, keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but on the seventh day you shall take your rest. It is a Sabbath rest unto the Lord. In it you shall do no work, nor thy ox, nor thy servant, nor thy manservant. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the Sabbath day is supposed to be a day of rest, so you shouldn't be doing no work on the Sabbath day. Well, right here in the wilderness, hey, look, the Lord is speaking into the children of Israel, and here they go. They find a man gathering stones on the Sabbath day, right? I mean, Salakia, gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. Verse number 33, and they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation. And they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. So they're sitting up here determining, hey, what are we going to do to this man? What is the Lord going to command us to do? Verse number 35, Salakia, and the Lord said unto Moses, the men shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. Verse number 36, and all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died as the Lord commanded Moses, right? So this is right here is going into the implementation of the children of Israel giving fringes to wear in the borders of their garments. The Most High gave us those borders, those fringes to remember them as a commandment. I mean, as a reminder to keep those commandments. But what I'm focusing on here is the fact that the whole congregation had this man stoned without the camp, but the congregation took stones and they stoned him. This is the Lord doing a public display of sentencing to show people, hey, look, if you break my laws, this is going to happen. If you break my laws, this is what's going to happen. This is a prime example of open rebuke right here. The Lord is doing this to somebody who was gathering sticks upon the Sabbath day right after he just told us that we got to keep the Sabbath day and keep it holy. But somebody didn't listen, so the Lord had to make a public example out of somebody to put fear in others to serve him. You know what I'm saying? And this is why it's called open rebuke, because like he says in 1 Timothy 5, hey, look, one that sinneth, rebuke before all, that others may fear. Just like Proverbs 27, open rebuke is better than secret love. So we time and time again, we see that when somebody sins, it was 9 times out of 10, somebody is going to rebuke them openly, right? Let me go to the book, Salaki, I'm going to my notes. Let me go to the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 12 and verse number 33. But Numbers 15, like we said, to know the backstory of how we got fringes, you got to understand that there was a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And when he gathered those sticks, the Lord was like, you know what? Make your fringes in the border of your garments so that way you can remember to keep my law, statutes, and commandments. And that was a form of open rebuke right there. The Lord openly put a man to death and had the congregation do it because he disobeyed the Most High. So when somebody sins, it's commanded of us to kind of rebuke them openly. You know what I'm saying? This is verse 2nd Esdras, Salaki, chapter 12, verse number 33. And it says right here, matter of fact, let me start at verse number 32. So this is talking about the Esdras vision, right? This is the anointed which the highest hath kept for them, and for their wickedness unto the end. He shall reprove them and shall upbraid them with their cruelty. For he shall set them before him alive in judgment, and shall rebuke them and correct them, right? So this is an example of how the Most High is reproving, rebuking, and correcting his people in front of the masses. He did it in front of every nation under heaven. He reproved, rebuked, and corrected us in every nation. Why? He scattered us into every nation because of what we did against him. So this is an open chastisement. This is an open judgment. This is an open rebuke directly from the Most High God. So we shouldn't have no problem rebuking our brethren and our sisters who might sin and go against the ways of the Most High. We shouldn't have no problem doing it openly. Now, I'm not saying if somebody hit you up privately to take their business that they sent to you in secret and display it to everybody to see. No, I am not saying that. Hey, look, you shouldn't tell talking out of another man's life. If somebody comes to you with all humility and all subjection and all conviction, and they hit you up in the DMs, or they step to you on the side in private, or they do this, that, and third, I'm not saying make your voice loud and start talking so everybody can hear the conversation. I'm not saying that expose all their business on social media. What I'm saying is that in public, if you see somebody doing something, you got to rebuke them right then and there on the spot. You know, that's what the Most High did with us. That's what Paul told Timothy. That's an example that the Most High did in Numbers when he seen a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. He didn't see the man gathering sticks on the Sabbath and was like, hey, Moses, take him to the side, kind of talk to him, and then you kill him, and don't let nobody else, hear about it or see about it. He didn't whisper to Moses and say, hey, Moses, just take this brother over here, you know what I'm saying? Because he kind of sinned, I don't want nobody else to see what I'm finna do to him. No, the Most High wanted to show how great he was, so he took that example right there. He took somebody sinning and chose to make it a public rebuke. That way everybody might be fearful, which is why 1 Timothy 5:20 is important. The Most High openly rebuked us in front of the heathens, embarrassed us to show us chastisement. Like you said, the Most High did it with us over and over again. Took us in front of the heathen, whooped our behinds, and he made an example out of us. Why? Because whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, right? But that's open rebuke. But open rebuke in Proverbs 27:5 is better than secret love, right? So let me kind of slow it down a little bit, just to give brothers and sisters who are joining in kind of a synopsis of what we went over thus far. So we started in 1 Timothy 5:20, right? I'm going to read it again for edification purposes, just so people can understand what I'm quoting, because I don't know if anybody just got 1 Timothy on the top of their head, right? But 1 Timothy 5:20, let me go back to it real quick. And it says right here, them that sin before all, Salakia, them that sin rebuke before all, that others may also fear. So that was the headline of this lesson. Them that sin rebuke before all, that others may also fear. It's not our job to kind of, oh, you sinning, brother, you got to kind of calm down because you got other people over here, you know what I'm saying, following after you. Salakia, no. Our job is to say, hey, look, you sinning, brother. You sinning, sister. Repent, turn away. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord commanded us to do, right? And then we went to Proverbs 27:5 to show that how open rebuke is better than secret love. If somebody's rebuking you publicly, if somebody's rebuking you openly, that's better than somebody, you know what I'm saying, giving you love in private. They're not telling you what you're doing wrong. They just like, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. Hold your hand, walk with you. No, it's better to open rebuke. Then we went to Numbers 15 to show the example about how the Lord made an open rebuke and he killed a man. He had the congregation stone a man for gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. That was a form of open rebuke. Then we went to 2 Ezra 12 to kind of show how with Ezra's vision, like how the Lord even said that, look, in front of everybody, he's going to judge us, rebuke us, correct us, reprove us. Right. And brothers had a great example. Just like our parents showing up at the school and spanking us in the hallways in front of the classroom or the lunchroom. Hey, look, we had public lynchings before the so-called white man. If you watch the movie Birth of a Nation, hey, look, they started lynching all the Negroes soon as Nat Turner and his people went on a whole rebellion. When they started rebellion, they said, okay, we're going to make an example out of y'all. They hanged every nigga that they found. Hanged all of them. To make an example. When they found Nat Turner, when he gave himself up, turned himself in, he wasn't even scared to die. He was just like, go ahead and get it over with. You know what I'm saying? He know what his rest was. But they literally lynched him. They hung him, and then they cut his body up in pieces and burned him, and it was horrible, just to make everybody fearful. So the same thing that 1 Timothy 5:20 says, hey, them that sin rebuke before all, it's the same thing we have to do lawfully and in righteousness. We're not telling you to go tell people's business and bring it before everybody because that's you rebuking them before everybody. No. If you see somebody on the street smoking weed, you're not supposed to wait till after camp or after wherever you're doing and say, hey, brother, sister, you know what I'm saying? You kind of got to get out of that. You know, I wasn't going to say it in front of everybody because I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to, no, you're not doing it for attention. You're not doing it for attention. The fact that you're telling people where they're going off, that's not for attention. That's out of love. That's our job. We're supposed to warn them, right? So let's go to further. Let's go to Baruch 4, right? Because I want to make an example. If the Lord tells us to rebuke openly, you know what I'm saying? If the Lord, matter of fact, I said that backwards. If the Lord is going to reward us openly, of course he's going to want us to rebuke openly, right? This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 24. It says, like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity. The neighbors of Zion, right? They have seen our captivity. So shall they see shortly your salvation from our God, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. So it says, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God. So if the Most High in the word that he says over and over again, that he's going to show the salvation of Zion, that he's going to show the glory of Zion, that he's going to reveal the glory of Zion, why can't he rebuke us openly? Why can't we rebuke each other openly? We want to post each other's accomplishments openly. We want to give each other praise and love openly. But why do we always want to rebuke when it's convenient for the person who we're trying to rebuke? Our job is not to make it easy for them to swallow the truth. Our job is to give them the truth. And however they digest it is between them and the Most High. It's your job to open rebuke. Don't think of open rebuke as a form of, oh, you doing that for attention. If somebody says that to try to convict you, you should just laugh it off because they don't know scripture. They don't know the understanding of what was written in Paul's letters to Timothy. They don't know the understanding of what was written in Proverbs. They don't know the things that the Most High did with us in front of the heathens to show us what we were doing wrong. They don't understand that. So Baruch 4:24 is a prime example of saying, look, like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they shortly see your salvation from our God. Hey, the Lord is going to make his salvation known in all the earth. Everybody's going to see it. And guess what? That's open. So that's open love. That's open salvation. Right? So the same way we can receive salvation openly is the same way that we should be able to rebuke openly. We should be able to rebuke our brothers and sisters, right? Let me go to another precept. Let me go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 real quick. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 5 real quick, right? Let me start at verse number 1. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1, right? Wait, let me start at 4. Slakia. Let me start at 4:17. I'm not gonna read all the way 17 through 5, but I'm just say, even though it's only 20 verses in 4. For they shall see, this is Wisdom Solomon 4:17. For they shall see the end of the wise and shall not understand what God in his counsel hath decreed of him, and to what end the Lord set him in safety. They shall see him and despise him, but God shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass and a reproach among the dead forevermore. For he shall rend them and cast them down headlong, that they shall be speechless. And he shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid waste and be in sorrow, and their memorial shall perish. And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquity shall concede them to their face. So that was Wisdom of Solomon 4:17 through 20. So this is an example of what the unrighteous is going to expect in these end times. They're going to literally get judged to their face with their own iniquities and their own transgressions. The same way that they're going to do that when it's all said and done with is the same way we should be doing that to people now. People who say, oh, don't judge not lest thou be judged. They don't understand that, right? We're trying to tell our people, hey, look, Whether you be judged by the saints, I'd rather you be judged by the saints that the Most High God sent on this earth to reprove and correct and rebuke. I'd rather you be judged by us now than when it's all said and done with, then you being judged by the Father. Because once you see receiving your judgment for the Father, it's over with. It's over with. Get rebuked in this life. Don't wait until the next life to finally realize what all the iniquity that you did. And if somebody is rebuking you, take that as a form of love, not a form of hate. You can't hate people and tell them where they're wrong. People who hate people don't tell people, hey, you doing something wrong. People who hate people make people feel like they're doing everything right. Satan is the biggest deceiver on earth. There is nothing in this world that Satan is doing to make people who are of the world feel like they're in the wrong. Satan wants everybody in the world to feel like they're right. Satan wants everybody in the world to feel like, nah, ignore what they're saying. They're just doing that for their personal reasons. They're just doing that for their entertainment. We'd rather be judged by our family now than at the end of the world for eternity. Con. You know what I'm saying? And don't be emotional if someone rebukes you openly. Acknowledge it. Con. You're supposed to acknowledge these open rebukes. You're supposed to accept open rebukes. You can't be sensitive. You can't be emotional when somebody is trying to give you that correction, that love. You know what I'm saying? That could come from anybody. Look, it can be a heathen that might know you're an Israelite. And they be like, hey, aren't you supposed to be keeping the Sabbath day? What are you doing? And then all of a sudden, here you go. You a heathen. You can't do that. No, you take that conviction because, hey, look, they even understand, right? Hey, look, you got to tell people at all the times, like, look, don't be emotional when you're receiving this because you're going to receive this. And guess what? Guess what? I'm doing it out of love. That's what Leviticus 19:17 tells us to do. You shouldn't suffer sin upon your brother. If you should in any wise rebuke your neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. That's love. It is love when you are getting rebuked by people and reproved by people. People who get rebuked and reproved all the time, they feel like, oh, they're judgmental. Oh, he's judging me. Oh, she's judging me. No, sisters, if you're reproving a sister, continue to do that. Continue to do it sternly and continue to do it in righteousness. Brothers, if you're doing that with other brothers, continue to do it sternly and continue to do it in righteousness. And brothers and sisters who are getting that rebuke, that reproof, and that correction, continue to take it with the understanding, okay, let me see what they're saying past the emotion. Get in these scriptures and understand that, hey, look, this is their job to tell me that I'm going off. I'm going astray. I'm doing wrong. I need to repent and turn back to the Most High. Right? Let me get another scripture real quick. Let me hit Wisdom in Solomon 5 real quick. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him. So the righteous man in that day is going to stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. So the righteous men are going to see everybody that afflicted him, and he's going to be like, yeah. And of those who afflicted that righteous man is going to be like, damn. Salakia for my language, but they're going to be like, dang, man. They're going to be like, dang, right? And let's continue on. And made no account of his labors. So if you afflicting a righteous man, you made no account of his labors. Hey, look, in that day, the Lord is going to raise him up. Verse number 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for, right? But it says right here in verse 2 at the beginning, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. So those who afflicted us, those who oppress us, they're going to be troubled with terrible fear when they see our salvation. They're going to be like, oh, man, we messed up. We screwed up. We did wrong. And at that point, it's too late. But that's the prime example why I'm saying that, to tie it all into how it applies to the lesson, is because that the same way the Lord is going to raise us up openly is the same way that he rebuked us openly and continues to rebuke us openly. And it's the same way that if we're going to glorify somebody's accomplishments and we're going to show somebody love and praise openly, then we need to rebuke that person openly just as much. We have to rebuke people just as much as we show them love. You should actually rebuke people more than you show them love. If I come around you and all I got to talk about is how good you are, how great you are. If all I come around you and all I got to say is you do this, you do that, you know what I'm saying, and you do it so well, and I'm not offering you no correction, and I'm not offering you no sense of understanding of what you could possibly do better, you know what I'm saying, then you should be mindful of that type of person in your corner that never wants to collide with you. They just want to keep it all mellow. You know what I'm saying? I think, what's his name? Jaron Jackson Jr. the power forward for the Memphis Grizzlies. He got a video on YouTube by GQ Sports, and it's talking about how I spent my first million. One of the reasons he said he chose Michigan State for his college is because he said that Michigan State was the only college that kept it real with him. Like, after they'll lose a game, all the other colleges will call and be like, yo, you did such a great job. You played well, even though y'all lost. Jaren Jackson said, hey, look, Michigan State will call me and be like, yo, my man's like, what type of game? What type of game was that? What you doing? Y'all lost. He was like, we don't care about if you dropped 40. We don't care if you had a triple-double, 40 points, 20 rebounds, 15 assists. Y'all lost. You could have defended better. You could have made an extra free throw. You could have had 50. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing enough. And that's why he said he chose Michigan State, because they rebuked him instead of showing him love. And look, they did this after he lost. People in this life, sometimes we get caught up in, I don't want to offend somebody while they're down. I don't want to kick somebody while they're down. No, it's a difference between insulting somebody and showing them their transgressions. I'm not calling somebody out their name. I'm not telling them they're less than anything. I'm not saying you're stupid, you're this, that, and the third. No, I'm saying if somebody's down and they're down because of themselves, then you got to tell them, hey, look, well, you like this because of you. It's the biggest thing. I had a brother one time. He said that he had an addiction with smoking weed. And he always said, man, I'm going to get off of it. Mom, get off of it. One day he got frustrated and he was just like, man, why can't I get off of it? And he said his girl told him, like, hey, look, you still addicted to smoking because you always trying to find out, oh, when's the next smoke back? When the next this, that, and the third? And she rebuked him, and it caused him to change. And that's what we have to do. We have to rebuke people so that way it'll cause them to change and believe, right? Correction makes better. Compliments create complacency. If you compliment somebody enough, they're going to feel like they're doing the right thing. They're not going to want to soar higher. People need to be rebuked, and rebuked openly. Like all these, there was a big Freaknik event in Augusta, right? And it led me to watch this video that the brothers from Sakari did in Houston, where there was this big gathering of our brothers and sisters at this not gas station, but car wash. And they was just sitting up here smoking, playing music, twerking, doing all types of madness, right? So the brothers out there rebuking them. And the people were more offended at the brothers that were rebuking them and telling them the truth than they were at receiving it, right? They were more offended at getting rebuked by the brothers in righteousness than calling each other in amongst themselves whores, calling themselves niggas, calling the other females the B word. The brother said that they were rapping about AK-47s and killing our people, but they were more offended at brothers reading the Bible and telling them that, hey, look, you're a chosen people. You can't be doing this. They were more offended at that. So it's important that we openly rebuke people, and whether they receive it or not, it's our job to do so, right? Galatians 4:16, that was a good one. Am I therefore your enemy because I tell you the truth? No, I'm not your enemy because I tell you that, hey, look, you sitting up here, you smoking, you drinking, you throwing your life away, right? You don't need to be doing that. I'm not your enemy. I'm not the bad guy here. I want better for you, right? This is, let me go on further. Let me go to Ecclesiastes 7. In fact, skip Ecclesiastes 75. Let me go to Leviticus 19 and 17. Right? Matter of fact, no, I'm going to read Ecclesiastes 75 first. I am going to read Ecclesiastes. Salakia, to my scribe. I don't want to confuse you. But this is Ecclesiastes 7 and 5. And it says right here, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. So it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Nobody wants to turn on a video and talking about how it convicts them. Nobody wants to be convicted of their own sins, their own transgressions. Nobody wants to be convicted of their own iniquity. Everybody wants to wait until the Lord does it, so that way it can be too late. That way you can be added to the people who are going to get cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to hear the song of fools. Everybody wants to hear soothsayings. Everybody wants to hear what's good to them. And that goes back into a video I did a while back, said your truth or the truth. Which one do you want? People don't want the truth. They want their truth, which is why our job is to rebuke openly, because we want to give you the truth. Everybody's not going to accept it. Everybody's not going to like it. Everybody's not going to agree with it. But one thing everybody has to do is respect it. It takes a strong person. It takes a powerful person to be able to look you in your face and tell you what you do wrong. That's love. I don't see how people see it as any other way. That's love. That is love when I'm sitting up here and I'm telling you, hey, look, you're going off. That's love when somebody takes time out their day to say, look, you think you good, but you're not good at all. You can be better, though. That's love, right? Leviticus 19 and 17. Go ahead and go there real quick. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19. And matter of fact, verse number 17. Salakia. And it says right here. Salakia. Hold on real quick. Leviticus 19 and 17, right? And it says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So we should rebuke our neighbors and not suffer sin upon him, right? If you love your brother, if you love your sister, you're not going to sit up there and provoke them to complacency. You're going to rebuke them. You're going to show them, hey, look, you did this, but you should have did this. You're going to rebuke people saying, hey, look, you might think you live in a life, but you don't even know what life is. That's what we tell our brothers and sisters on the streets, on the highways and byways. You think you live in life, but you don't even know what life is, right? Our job is to rebuke people. We got to stop with this holding hands type of walk. We got to start making sure, hey, look, we let people know that, look, I can't be emotional for you. I can't be emotional for you. Why? Because if I'm emotional for you, then I'm not going to tell you what thus saith the Most High says in his word. If I'm emotional for you, then that means I can't be stern. That means you can't be emotional for yourself, which means that you're not going to understand what I'm saying, or you're not going to understand where I'm coming from, because all you're going to do is get caught up in the way I feel about you. I can't be emotional for you. So when you talk this truth, when you tell people they're wrong, hey, don't be afraid to rebuke them openly. It's okay to rebuke people openly, and people should be open to receiving correction openly. We glorify ourselves openly. So if we're going to put our accomplishments for the world to see, then we should understand that we should be able to receive correction in the public eye. Right? Don't come to me for soft answers, Khan. I tell my wife that all the time. Like, stop looking for me to coddle you. Stop looking for me to kind of soothe talk you. Stop looking for me to be that kind of like that pillar of rest when it comes to not being so tough skinned. No, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I was that guy before, but I can't be that guy. I realize that when you in these scriptures, you can't be the guy to try to want to take it easy with everybody. I've done my rebuking. I've done my fair share of letting people know. Some have received it, some have not. But I don't do it for my personal gain. What do I gain personally from somebody changing their life around? I gain another brother. I gain another sister. But other than that, there's not no monetary value that I'm trying to search for. I'm trying to make my own. I'm trying to make my calling and election sure. And the way I do that is by doing what the Most High commanded his people to do. Isaiah 58 and 1, right? And then we're going to go to Ezekiel 3. And then I'm going to end it there, right? The Most High commanded us to do this, right? Isaiah chapter 58, Salakia, and verse number 1. And it says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Now, a trumpet is not quiet. So it says, cry aloud, spare not. Don't spare anybody. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet and shew my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins, right? So the Most High is telling us to cry aloud, spare not. We got to lift up our voice like trumpets. We got to stop trying to play the flute. We got to stop trying to sit up here and, you know what I'm saying, play the little violin. We got to stop trying to do with the nursery rhymes. We got to stop with the little baby music. We got to start crying aloud and start sparing not. And we know we do it, but if you do it, you got to think about how often do you do it, and do you really do it enough? You know what I'm saying? Shalom. Hey, love, me y'all too, man. But you gotta shout out to the brothers of Prisons of Yahushua, man. My brother Zion on the scene. But hey, look, you have to rebuke people openly, right? And you have to do it without caring about their feelings. The truth is not built on our feelings. It's about the Most High's feelings. And his feelings said, hey, look, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, show my people their transgressions in the house of Jacob their sins. That's what you have to do, right? That's what the Lord told us to do. Ezekiel chapter 3, right? Salakia. But Ezekiel chapter 3. And I'm going to go there to show its importance too, right? Ezekiel chapter 3 and let me see. What verse do I want to start at? I want to say let me start at 17. Ezekiel 3 and 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So the Lord said, look, if he tells the wicked that they're going to die and we don't say nothing, we don't blow the trumpet, we don't let them know that they're wrong. Hey, look, that wicked man is going to die. But guess what? Their blood is going to be on our hands because we didn't wash our hands. We didn't make ourselves clean from being responsible for that person's death. We're responsible for that. So our job is to warn people. Why? So we can make our hands clean. We got to clean ourselves, dust our shoulders off, stuff like that. That's why we have to open rebuke people. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm going to say it again for the third time. Do not take somebody's private message and put it on your timeline for people to see so that way you can say, well, this is me rebuking them openly. No. Now, if you want to, you can make an example out of a situation that they're in. You know what I'm saying? But do not take that person and put their name and face in an image in it if they come into you in private. If they're coming to you humbly, rebuke them humbly, right? If they're coming to you humbly, give them a stern rebuke humbly. If they're coming to you in private, give them a stern rebuke in private, right? But if you see somebody publicly doing something, hey, you got to rebuke them publicly. If we, like I said, we can reward people publicly, then we should rebuke people publicly. That's the only way it can be. You can't have one side of the spectrum. We can't show love in the open, but want to say, hey, you wrong behind closed doors. No, if you wrong right then and there. That's just like parents who wait, they child acting up in the store and you wait to get home to whoop the child instead of whooping that child behind right there in the store in front of everybody to see. Now, this day and age, people are sensitive, right? But that's what happens. When you receive a gift, it destroys the heart. We've received so many gifts from our oppressors that now we even feel like, oh, whooping your child in the open is kind of doing too much. Heck no. I wish my son or my daughter would cut up while we at the store. Big Lot, Circle K, Target, don't matter. They want to start acting up right then and there, I'm going to act up right then and there with them. I'm going to rebuke them right then and there. Why? The Lord did it with us. You think the Lord is going to take his time rebuking us? Now, guess what? Some wicked are stored up until the day of wrath, right? You was bold enough to try it in public, means you bold enough to get corrected in public. Con, right? A house cannot be built on sand but a solid rock. Con. A house cannot be built on sand. It has to be built on a rock. A house has to have a foundation. In order for us to be strong in this word, we have to have a foundation. In order for us to lead people, we have to have a foundation. One of the principles of our foundation should be cry aloud, spare not. Isaiah 58:1 should always be in the back of your mind wherever you at. That don't mean that somebody coming up to you having a decent conversation. That means you start yelling at them and railing on them. No. There's a time and season and place for everything. When it's a time to yell and you know what, you this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? When it's a time to do that, do that. But every time is not the time to do that. And all I'm saying is that open rebuke does not necessarily mean take people's private business and put it out in public. But rebuke that person. And if somebody comes to you in public, rebuke that person right then and there. Don't see a multitude doing evil and then say, well, I'm going to just wait till after camp and then we're going to go talk to them after that. Don't see a multitude doing evil and say, well, I'm going to just, turn my eye because, hey, look, I can only work out my own salvation with fear and trembling. No, you working out your own salvation with fear and trembling, like Philippians 2:12 says to do. You doing that is part of you warning our people, part of you crying aloud, sparing not. You cannot work out your own salvation and not warn the people. You're not working out your own salvation. You're causing a stumbling block to be upon yourself, right? But look, with that, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, man, shalom. I hope this lesson was edifying. Like I said, Salakia, I was long again. But look, sometimes when you get in this thing, you get to talking and the Lord start revealing stuff to you. But look, open rebuke. Don't be afraid to rebuke people openly. Don't take people private business, though, if they come into you in private, and don't take their business and put it on Front Street. But if somebody come to you on Front Street, rebuke them on Front Street. But if somebody come to you on Back Street, rebuke them on Back Street. But either way it goes, the message is to rebuke and do it openly, do it with love and in righteousness, right? But with that, I'm going to say shalom, man. Peace to all the brothers and sisters that are on here. I hope y'all have a great day. Just ended a mighty day of fasting. So, hey, look. Just want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High. All right. With that being said, shalom. Wait, hold on.